Hey y'all, I want to put this video out as a little mini class on dog body language. We hear stories all the time about people saying, my dog bit me out of nowhere, my dog bit my child or my other dog out of nowhere and gave no warning signs, so I don't know where it came from. Well, you'd be surprised that dogs actually do give quite a few warning signals, and most people, or I shouldn't say most people, but a lot of people don't pay close enough attention, or they don't even know exactly what those warning signs are and to be on the lookout for them. So I have a video that I'm going to show of my latest board and trained Roscoe doing some resource guarding with his food, and I want to walk you through this and break down everything and show you exactly how a bite would have happened, but how it can be prevented as long as you know what you're looking for in the dog's body language. So I do want to make a few disclaimers. Number one, this was not day one of training. He had been here for an entire week before I even set up this situation, because with resource guarding or just with training in general, it is so important to have a good relationship with the dog before you start to do anything that's more invasive. So I spent 3 days teaching him how to play tug, which was very frustrating, but I just wanted him to play and open up with me and build that bond with me so that when it came to situations like this, it wasn't just me coming in like an authority figure he wasn't comfortable with, because that could definitely higher chance of resulting in a bite to me because the relationship just wasn't there yet. We also did a lot of hand feeding because something about the food being in the bowl, that's what he was guarding, so all food came from me, and again, that just developed that relationship. Number two, this is the only time in this clip that I taunted him with his food. Like I said, he had been here for a week, and he was pretty nervous when he showed up and just a little insecure about the new environment, so I really didn't see any sort of that resource guarding whatsoever. So I didn't do this multiple times because I'm not asking for trouble, but I had to actually see that behavior to know how extreme it was and to figure out a game plan going forward. And number three, do not try anything that I'm doing in this video at home. If your dog is showing resource guarding behaviors or aggressive behaviors, first of all, don't post it on the internet for attention because that's not cool. Find a trainer that can help you with this situation because most of the time they escalate into very serious situations, and if I can help you prevent a bite from happening to you or somebody else, then I'm doing my job right. Okay, on to the video. So I'm watching it here on my screen, but I'm walking you through this. So the very first thing that you might not be able to see, since he's just kind of far away from the camera and the angle is a little off, is his eyes are following my every move. Every step that I take, he is watching me. His head is still down in that bowl and it's not moving, but his eyes are strained. He's looking up and he's watching me, fixated on every single little step that I take. And now this is something that a lot of people would probably miss. And quite honestly, I probably didn't notice it at the time because I was standing up above him and it's just hard to see from that angle, but something to keep an eye out for. Then we see him freeze. And this is probably the most overlooked warning sign that people don't recognize because it's such a subtle change. His ears go back, his breathing probably stops, like everything about his entire body just freezes in that moment. He's holding his ground and waiting to see what I'm gonna do next, and you'll see, like I said, don't do what I do, but I'm gonna stick the chuck it stick in the bowl and see what his reaction is. So I'm intentionally taunting him just to see what his limits are. And then obviously we hear the growl. That's the main warning sign that people are waiting for and actually respond to and start to back off because they know, whoa, the dog is serious, he's growling at me. But here's the thing, those people just completely miss those 4 first warning signals. The eyes fixated on me, watching where I'm going, the freezing, the body freezing, the ears going back, and the breathing stopping. 4 signs building up to that event of a bite potentially happening that people are missing. But it's really important to pay attention to these signals because that's how you can prevent those bites from happening. If you start getting too close to a dog and you notice them freeze, that's when you want to back off, because if they freeze and you ignore that or you just don't recognize it, they are going to try the next thing, the next warning to give you. And if you don't recognize that, see, we have a pattern going. They are going to try minimally in increments to let you know they are uncomfortable with you being by them. And if none of those work, that's when a bite happens. So it's a last resort, not for every dog, but for most of them. But these come in handy. My personal dog, Roman, is very, very dog friendly and loves playing with other dogs. But I know his limits. And if he has stopped playing, but another dog keeps pushing him because they're not done, I will keep a very close eye on him. Because usually the first thing he'll do is give a bit of a side eye and freeze. And that's when I de-escalate that situation. If and when I do see that, him reacting that way towards another dog, I'll tell him easy, and then I will move in. I will put my body in between him and that other dog and get the other dog away from him and out of his way, out of his space. And it's saved my ass from having a dog fight in my yard on more than one occasion, because Lord knows I don't need that happening. So it's just really useful to have this information and recognize these dog body language signals to safely navigate really any situation that you put your dog in if it's going to make them uncomfortable. Even if you've got a dog that's never bitten, doesn't mean that they can't. It could potentially happen one day. So do yourself a favor, learn this stuff, share it with a friend.